Hey everybody, welcome to another day in our series, another day, another dollar. Very happy that y'all is coming in with us and taking some time to learn about what we are all doing. We have another treat for y'all today. I can't wait for y'all to meet her. But first, let me go through some of our announcements. Sorry about that, y'all. Just having a little minor technical difficulties. But like I see you, Corbin, turning in from Dallas. I see you, J Love from NYC. You know we love our NYC people. Shout out. I see you from Detroit. Okay, we got a nice little membership base. I see y'all out here. So once again, welcome to a non-technical series in which we call the Encore. I want y'all to take a moment to share this with us, not only on LinkedIn, share it on YouTube, share it with your friends and everything. I told some of my friends to pull up. I hope I see them in the comment section. But I really want y'all to know we have a real talent in the industry today, and I can't wait for y'all to meet her. But first, before I get to us going through some of the great Black technology that we have today, just a couple of MMC announcements. And so I want to take a moment to ask you all where you are in your career, in boot camp, in school, or self-learning, applying for your first role, or are you growing and growing in your career? Regardless of where you are here today. You are going to get so much out of this and you're going to learn. That's always the beauty of the community. We want to help people out here. And so I want to take a moment to just buff up our referral zone. If you're looking to get a new job or anything, we have some good companies, some employees from these companies who want to refer you all and help y'all get that first interview. As you know, recruiters get hundreds and hundreds of recs. So sometimes the referral is the difference between you and that job, and we want to do our best to help y'all. So we have Amazon here, Microsoft, Brasilia, Zillow, Netflix, Accenture, and many more. So I hope y'all take the time to visit that, and you can go to bit.ly/MMC-refers. Once again, bit.ly/MMC-refers. So before I introduce y'all to our guests of honor, the guest of the night, the hostess with the mostest, I want to take y'all through meeting some of the team about our upcoming mentorship program. We just launched one fellowship, but we have another one coming back to y'all. How to opt into our text reminders, what's going on in our Etsy shop, and finally our Encore series giveaway. So just want y'all to meet the team. I'm Dominique G. I should have started with that. My apologies, but now I'm getting up to it. I'm the strategy and business officer at the Mentor Me Collective. We have Chanel P. I call her Miss Make It Happen. She started these event series, and we've been going strong ever since. We have Ashley, who's our community impact coordinator. Brittany, who's our social media strategist. And we have some other additions. We have Sade, who does all of our graphic designs. Dominique and Sharika, who are both user experience engineers, and Diamond, who's an operations engineer. The team is growing, y'all, and if y'all would like to be a part, just go to bit.ly/MMC-team and select the volunteer inquiry with me. Our mentorship program is launching. So we already started our fellowship for this fall. We're partnering with the Barron Review, Miro, and Microsoft to help user design and researchers. But don't worry, if y'all missed this one, we have another one that's coming next spring of 2023. And if you would like to apply to that fellowship, please go to bit.ly/MMC-mentee. Again, bit.ly/MMC-mentee. I'm telling y'all, it's well worth it. Are you ready for a free tech summit? We are introducing the Apex Summit that will be coming to you live in Atlanta, Georgia, from October 5th through the 8th. We really want to make this for the community. It's going to be fully free. There's going to be so many different things going on there. I hope that y'all will take a moment to register and take a look. And you can find that link right here at bit.ly/the Apex Summit. Go there, register. We have a lot of great content that's going to be coming for that summit. Again, it's happening in Atlanta, Georgia, and online. So in case you can't make it in person, because I know how people are in this time of day, it's all good. We expect about 1,000 attendees. Again, it's from the 5th of October through the 8th, and it's totally free. You lose nothing by registering to come. And so these are some of the audience that we're trying to attract, whether you're a student, a contributor, or a leader. There's some content here for all different levels. So please just come. If you can't make it in person, check out some of the online sessions. I promise it'll be worth your time. The tickets will go live soon, but until then, register at bit.ly/the Apex Summit, and we'll show you when we're going live with those. Opt into our text reminders. We're not trying to spam you all. This is strictly for two things: when we have events and when we have giveaways. So you can opt into that by texting MMC to 866-901-1914. Again, MMC to 866-901-1914. Remember when I told you about Sade? She designed pretty much everything in that FT shop. It's so lovely. It's so dope. Like, she truly is one of the most talented people I've ever seen in this space. So I hope you'll see the type of work that she has done. And you can go to etsy.com/shop/mentor me collective just to see some of her wares. But what's an MMC event without a MMC giveaway? That's right, y'all. We always say with the giving. It's part of the community. It's part of the brand. And so we want you to grab a pen and paper, take some notes, because there will be a quiz at the end. Tag us in social media posts. And again, just get ready for the quiz. And again, just want you to take some notes, tag us in your social media posts when you can, and opt in by texting MMC to 866-901-1914. These are just some of the giveaways or some of the items rather in the giveaway. Some Apple AirTags, a whole Medi, that hydrate water bottle I hear is fire, and some Nally smart light bulbs. Okay, guys, y'all didn't come to hear me ramble. Nobody really cares about me like that. Y'all came for the lady of the hour. So I want to introduce Miss Jazmin Carswell.
Hello, everyone. I hope that everyone is well today. I know it is 6 o'clock on the East Coast, but good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm going to go ahead and share with y'all what I got today.
But before you do that, tell the people about you. Let's hear a little bit about who Jazmin Carswell is before you get there.
Of course. Well, thank you, Dom, for the wonderful intro. My name is Jazmin. I am actually based in Atlanta, Georgia. So if any of y'all find yourself on, the southern region of the United States, let me know. I am here. I am the associate marketing manager of sneakers and fashion at eBay. And fun fact, I'm also a co-founder and head of marketing for a brand new startup. And it's a social media platform / recruiting platform for Black and Latinx young professionals. So I will tell y'all more about it at the end, but I'm here to talk to y'all all about brand marketing, a little bit about what I do, a little bit about what in the world brand marketing is, and then just some cool stuff I learned along the way. So I hope y'all are excited, because I am.
We love to see it. I'm taking myself off stage. It's all yours, Jazmin.
Cool beans. All right, y'all, let's get started. All right, cool. Y'all can see everything? Amazing. So this is Jazz's Declassified Marketing Survival Guide. So this is going to be a 30,000 foot view of everything marketing, y'all. So let's hop in. I got some cool stuff planned for us today. Here's kind of a curriculum of what we'll go through. What is brand marketing? We got strategy. We're going to talk about mentors. We're going to talk about minding your own business. So that's marketing yourself like a business. And I could not create a PowerPoint without just telling y'all some stuff that I've learned along the way. So that's how we're going to cap it off today. I'm excited. Cool. So as we just talked about, I won't, belabor the point with who I am. But again, I am Jazmin. If I have any of my sweet sorors in the building, I'm also a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I've been at eBay now for about 2 years. I graduated from the University of Georgia. I have 2 degrees. I have one in advertising and the other one in communication studies. And I also have a certificate in new media. So I know how to code websites and all that. I like to be, well-rounded, if you would. Cool. So I want to welcome y'all. Hello, my new friends. I don't know if y'all are weird like me, but every lesson that I learn, whether it's in life, whether it's at work, whatever it is, I always relate it to a song. So here we got Welcome to the Party Next Door, because there's no other way to welcome y'all, really. Amazing. So my first lesson, guys, is going to be brand marketing. So what is it? What's the difference between brand marketing and regular marketing? Like, what is she talking about? So the biggest way, or I guess like the shortest way I can give you a synopsis, is branding is going to be for long-term results, and marketing is how you get there, right? So we're talking about brand marketing. For instance, I work at eBay. The first thing you want to know, whether it's for the company that you work for, whether it's for your own brand, whether it's for yourself, you want to set up a brand identity, right? A lot of people may confuse the two, and they'll say, like, I am my brand, but you are not your brand, okay? Your brand is its own entity. So what is your brand? What font does your brand use? What colors does your brand use? What tone of voice do you use? Are you funny on the internet? Are you serious? Are you informative? All of those things go into building what we know as a brand personality. So that is a lot of what we work with, especially me at eBay. I work with brand personality. So making sure that everything, when we're talking about sneakers, when we're talking about fashion, we'll be launching a streetwear line soon, making sure that we're just talking to the audience in the best way, right? The next thing you want to know about brand marketing is target audience, y'all. I want to emphasize that if you're marketing to everybody, you're marketing to no one. Okay, so always know with any brand that you're working with, who is the target audience? Who are you really talking to? Who do you really want to reach out to, right? Amazing. So, next is going to be brand messaging. Oh my goodness, this is so important. So important. You can't do brand marketing without knowing what message you want to give. What message is it that you want to convey, right? And how exactly do you plan on doing that? Do you want to do it on Twitter? Do you want to do it on Instagram? You know, all of those things are super duper important. Amazing. So my pro tip at the end is going to be, if you're marketing to everybody, you're marketing to no one. I cannot stress that enough. And my song suggestion here, of course, is Kendrick Lamar. All right, that's a given. Next, we're going to go into strategy. I had to put it 3 times just because that's how important it is, right? Strategy is everything. So, number 1, what in the world is brand strategy? What's going on here? Brand strategy is your long-term plan to reach your long-term goal. So if I say to y'all, oh my goodness, I want to reach out to all of the Black women, right? I want to reach out to all the Black women in the world. Brand strategy is going to be, how exactly do I plan to do that? Where are Black women shopping? Where are Black women consuming these messages? How can I be in the places where they're consuming these messages, right? And that's going to be your strategic approach to how you want to reach out to your target audience. As we move into that, we're going to talk about, how do you measure success, right? I'm talking about all of these like intangible things, so weird. Like, how do you even measure this? The biggest way that I've seen it measure is going to be brand awareness. So if I go around and say, how many of y'all have heard about eBay? That is brand awareness. That's because you are what? You're aware of the brand. But if you're looking at it in another sense, it's brand equity. So if I go to all of you guys and I'm like, oh my goodness, how many of you guys shop on eBay for your shoes? It may not be as many of you guys that actually know about eBay as a company. Brand equity is going to be, how much do we take up? How much, I guess, real estate, you would say, do we take up in your minds when it comes to having that initial consideration set? So yeah, that's going to be good on success. It's going to be so important that that's measured all the time. And of course, we're going to cap it off. Insights, y'all, are so key. They're so key. I cannot go and place anything, any messages. I cannot go put anything on the site. I cannot sell you anything if I don't really know what the data is behind it, right? You just don't know. You don't know what you don't know. My mom always tells me that. So make sure, it's your job to make sure that you do know. So go in, find the research, no matter where it is, build that target audience based on the research. Where are they shopping? How are they shopping? How much money are they spending? What do they think about when they're shopping? Does your target audience have kids? Do they shop for their kids in that way? You know, so just making sure you're thinking of everything in a strategic way is gonna set you up for success every single time. Awesome. And let's always remember, y'all, proper planning prevents poor performance. The song I got here, wait a minute, because sometimes you just got to wait a minute and get your strategy together, okay? You can't do anything if you don't know. Awesome. So I know Don mentioned a lot of y'all are looking to get into marketing. Okay. I want to put it out there. I would love to be a resource to y'all if y'all ever want to know more about it. If you want to learn more, if you want to look at opportunities at eBay or any opportunities anywhere else that I may have a connection, use me, lean on me, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'll give y'all the link at the end, but I'm happy to help in any way that I can. I've, done some research on some different programs, different certificate programs that like Ivies and just smaller ones. So I'm happy to share the knowledge that I do have with y'all, because you can't pour into someone if your cup is empty. Okay. So making sure we're all pouring into each other. So number 1, who is your mentor, right? That's going to be one of the most important things that I would say when it comes to getting into a job with marketing, because marketing is basically, I wouldn't say it's who you know, but it's going to be so important that you know someone that is in marketing or know someone that does marketing, because they can give you a little bit more insight on what the lay of the land is. I want to be 1,000,000% transparent with y'all. Okay. Marketing is a tough, It's a tough field to get in because everybody thinks that they can be a marketer. Everybody's like, I can market, I can market, I can market. But really, it's going to be so important, y'all, to get some formalized experience. Get out there and say, even if you have sales experience, that's super relevant. So just the people is who, it's not what you know. Sometimes it's who you know. So I wanna give y'all that for sure. 2, ask and you shall receive. Okay. If you don't have a mentor or you don't have a mentor that knows anything about marketing and you're looking to get into the field, reach out. Don't ever be afraid to reach out. There are associates like me. There are people that are in higher levels than me, and they are so willing to help. Before I got in this position, I had applied for a couple other marketing roles, but I met a lot, and I can't stress it enough. I met so many people via like LinkedIn and in passing, just by kind of like promoting myself, marketing myself, saying, hey, this is me, this is what I do. They're like, oh my goodness, I know so and so. So just never be afraid to promote yourself in that way, because you never know when connection can happen. And then just remember, when you are connecting with people, you want to make sure that you're tapping in with them all the time, okay? And not just every day, but making sure when you tap in with them, it's a very, it's not transactional, it's a very intentional approach. Just making sure that, they're human, you're human, just so you can kind of figure out your way into the field. So with that, never be afraid to shoot your shot. That's my pro tip number 3. My song suggestion for that was going to be Slide, Frank Ocean and Amigos. That's my favorite song. I don't care what anybody says. I know y'all have heard it. It is literally a masterpiece. So yeah. All right, y'all. Almost done. We're at the finish line. But one of my last points is going to be mind your own business. And that is going to be one of the biggest keys that I've gotten thus far. So really, it's to treat yourself like a business. Number 1, it's going to be market yourself. Okay. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. You want to learn to market yourself or your business like a $1 million organization. Everybody you meet, hey, this is me, this is my business, I'm a founder of this, I created this, or this is what I do. Make sure that you are evangelizing your business, because nobody's going to treat you or your business the way you're going to treat you or your business. Okay, so always make sure you're going to lead with that. Number 2, create a plan and set goals, y'all. So like I said, it doesn't matter if you're a content creator, it doesn't matter if you're passionate about doing hair, nails, makeup, tech, it doesn't matter. Make sure you know that you can create a plan and you can hold yourself accountable to that. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this book called Atomic Habits, but it is one of my favorite books. I love to pass it on to everybody that I meet. But basically, it tells us that when we are setting these goals for ourselves, what we do is we start to attach our success or how we feel about success to those goals. So I want to make sure that you guys know, don't do that. Just know that you get 1% better every day. So if you're a content creator, create a content calendar, right? If you want to learn a new skill, if you want to learn how to play the piano, set up a plan every day and say, oh, I want to learn how to do this, because that's going to be the key to just learn about marketing and yourself. My last point, marketing equals making money moves. Okay, so the key to marketing that I've learned that I can really apply to my everyday life is marketing is making your money work for you. So make sure that you're also making your money work for you, right? Creating generational wealth is everything. That's everything that we're here for. That's why we have the wonderful Mentor Me Collective, creating all of this wonderful programming and these opportunities for y'all. Make sure that you're making all of your money work for you all the time. Learn ways to invest. Again, all of that's marketing. It may not seem like it, but I promise you, all of it is. My pro tip here, y'all, is find your spark and the rest will follow, right? Sometimes we want to do stuff and we're like, oh my goodness, I want to do this. Like, I know a lot of people, they're like, oh my goodness, I'm going to computer science. I'm going to computer science because it makes a lot of money. I think that a lot of times what that does is it leaves us feeling unfulfilled, right? It leaves us feeling like we're in a place where we're here for money, but that's not really what I want to do. What is it that you would wake up 40 hours a week, 80 hours a week, and you could do without, like breaking a sweat? That's what you do. So my song suggestion here, y'all, is It Gets Better with Time. If y'all have never heard the internet, you got to go look it up. It is amazing. Amazing. So lastly, y'all, I got a few life hacks for you. Just overall, not necessarily related to marketing, but just wanted to share with y'all some things that I've learned along the way, because I think it could be helpful. Like I said, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But 1, you got to nurture your mind, right? Read a different book genre, learn some more recipes, take a fitness class, just get out of your comfort zone. You're going to surround yourself with some different perspectives, because that's going to help you no matter what field you decide to go in, no matter what you want to do, right? Number 2, learn from everything. Transition is not always easy. So I just transitioned into this new marketing role. But before this, I was in a role like, what am I doing? And I'll be honest with you, it's just not the easiest place to be. But just remember, be kind to yourself, be patient with yourself. We'll be students for the rest of our lives. So it's okay to just take some time, right? Second, like I said earlier, just find your spark, right? Life is a journey of self discovery. We'll be learning ourselves every day until the day that we leave this earth. So just make sure that you're taking your time to learn who you are. Change is inevitable. Why hold on to what you have to let go of? I had to bring my girl Janae Aiko out on this one for my last pro tip because it's one that resonates with me the most. Absolutely. So yeah, my very, very last life-changing hack. I've told everybody in my life this like a million times, so I figured I would tell y'all to write a letter to your 15-year-old self, no matter where you are in your career, where you are in your life. Write a letter to 15-year-old you and tell them exactly what they're about to get into. Tell them lessons that you wish that that you know they'll learn along the way. Tell them things that you wish they could know. It's gonna change your life. But while I do that, y'all, I actually have something to show you. So one sec. All right. Okay. I think y'all can see. Let's see. Can y'all see? Thumbs up me. Give me the okay. Okay, great. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, it's my last thing. Amazing. Okay, I don't know if y'all can hear it, but all good. So yeah, here's my LinkedIn. I will drop the link in the chat over here, but I'm here for any questions that y'all have, anything y'all want to hear from me, anything y'all want to know. I am an open book, so please let me know.
Well, first of all, y'all, can y'all drop some fire emoji for this woman? Because that was by far one of the best presentations that I have ever seen. From the deck classified, reference to having a song in between to the life pad and life tips and everything. That was sensational. I have to give you your flowers for that. That was a sensational presentation.
Thank you, my friend. I try to do what I can.
And look, the audience, a couple of fire emojis here. I'm telling you, they was really loving it. Like, even the video, we couldn't hear it, but we could see the energy. You know what? That's the most important thing, right? We can see where your journey.
Absolutely. Oh, thanks, Chanel. Don't make me blush.
She said you too, Lip. So before I get into more deep questions, you did mention about an app, so we want to hear more about it. Tell us, Chanel asked, tell us more about the app though. Let's promote yourself. Come on.
Of course, of course, of course. So my co-founder and I were actually launching an application. It's called Stratos. So, like I said, it'll be a two-part application. The first part is going to be like a social platform for Black and Latinx professionals. We want people from all walks of life to join just so we can create a space for people that look like us, to kind of talk about the issues that relate to us. On the back end is going to be a recruiting platform. So we're partnering with companies right now. We're working on getting the app launched in the next couple months, but working with some companies on the back end that'll be using us as a recruiting tool. So you'll be able to kind of upload resumes, kind of the same way you'll be able to do LinkedIn, but like I said, a place that's like for us, by us.
And that's an important word right there, because at the end of the day, this is why we do these talks for the community, and it's so amazing to see you putting your own spin on how to get back to the community, because we know it's hard to get these roles, we know it's hard to get these jobs. So
Absolutely.
I'm so happy to hear that you're focusing on app on just for us, by us. So y'all better support when she drops it, because we're gonna be hyping it up. And hey, look at Chanel, you better innovate, boo. See, she already knows. And so I had a question then, because you talked about, I want you to go a little bit deeper into the separation, because for a little bit of time people assume that you are your walk-in brand, but you made a distinction. So I want you to elaborate more and tell us, what do you mean by you are not your brand?
I think that one of the big things I stand by when it comes to like you're not your brand is because I think that your brand deserves its own entity. Like sometimes, of course, you are. If you're a hairstylist, like there's no way to really separate yourself from your work. So that's a completely different thing. So sometimes like it's different nuances based on different industries. But when we create our brand, I know a lot of times like we want to be at the forefront. I've worked with a lot of small businesses and we want to be at the forefront of our brand, but I want us to always make sure that we're giving our brand its proper time to shine. Okay. We're letting it be distinctive in the market. So when it's time to go compete for these big roles or these big contracts, like your brand has a solid staple in the community. They know you, they know your colors, they know your tone of voice, they know your font, they know your brand for your brand. And of course you're the part of the brand because you run it, But at the end of the day, make sure that your brand sticks out because it is its own entity as well.
It's kind of like, making your job separate from your personal life. Just because you work at a company doesn't mean you become that company.
Absolutely. Sometimes they need delineation. Sometimes delineation is good. I want to be the first to let y'all know that.
So Chanel what inspired you to get into marketing and advertising?
That is such a good question, Chanel. Okay, I'll be so honest with y'all. When I went to school, I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a dermatologist. I was like, I'm going to cure the world of all bad acne. Like, it was such a thing. I got in my first science class and I was like, this is terrible. Like, I hate science. I don't have any. And I was like, I'll be honest, like, I've never even been to a dermatologist. Like, I've never been there. So I'm like, this is just not for me. I sat on it. I prayed on it. I'm like, I have no idea what I want to do. No idea. But I remember in high school, we had pathways at our school. So I had taken marketing, a couple courses, and I loved it. And I've always liked to talk to people. I've always been interested in it. So I just kind of took a leap of faith. I changed my major to advertising. And, I sat there and I'm like, what am I going to do? Literally, a couple months later, my freshman year, I had a lady reach out to me. She's like, hey, I know you cold emailed me, but I would love to hop on the phone with you. And a couple months later, I was in New York, working for Food Network. So I think that's really a testament to just sometimes when you feel it, you just got to go for it. But that's kind of what propelled me there. And after that, I fell in love with it. I'll be honest.
Well, first of all, I need to hear some thoughts about the Food Network, but that'll be towards the end. Chanel didn't that her too. She wanted to be a neurosurgeon. So this is the third time we passed somebody.
A neurosurgeon. Yeah. Yes. It's because I think personally it's because growing up, if you are smart, they're always like, oh, you could be a doctor or you could be a lawyer, and they always put you kind of in those roles. But at the end of the day, you can really be anything you want to be. And if you want to go into marketing, you're creative and you like to sell, you can do that too, So I think that it just all depends on where you are. But sometimes we learn those lessons later or earlier. It just depends on where we are.
You arrive when you're supposed to know. So I'm happy you had your arrival.
Yes.
So J-Love as an upcoming entrepreneur / influencer, I felt overwhelmed by all the marketing needed. How can you prevent this? What's one step, or what's step one rather?
Oh my goodness, what is step one? J-Love, that's an amazing question. I think the first step is going to go back to kind of what I said, is you're going to have to develop some sort of a strategy. So you got to figure out, as an entrepreneur, as an influencer, you have to learn how to run yourself like a business, right? So you got to say, oh my goodness, I know that my overall goal is maybe I want to have 1 million followers, or maybe my overall goal is to have 1 million views on this video, or maybe my goal is to have a brand sponsorship with Nike. I'm just talking, but maybe that's my goal. So once you have that delineated goal and you say, this is what I want to do, you then start to create steps to how you want to get there, right? Because a lot of times we'll get opportunities and there'll be good opportunities, but they may not ladder up to our goals. And I know the feeling of like being overwhelmed and like having all these things come up and you don't know where to start. Just start where it feels natural. So if you're an influencer and you create content, step one, create some sort of a content schedule. What do you want to accomplish with your content, right? What do you want to do with that? Where do you want this content to go? What is the audience for the content? So just start to create and kind of embed that strategy into everything you do, and you'll start to see the results every single time. But it's hard. It's hard to understand what is that one, but just go with what you know. Go with what you feel. Just put a little bit of research, a little bit of thought behind it.
Let's see. Rome wasn't built in a day, neither were the pyramids. So it's the first block that's the most important block.
Absolutely. I cannot agree more.
So Angela writes, what's the difference between brand strategy and brand marketing?
Oh, that's a great question, Angeline. So ultimately, brand marketing and brand strategy, they're right there with each other. So you can almost call them like sisters, but overall, brand strategy kind of is the overarching, brand marketing falls under. So you want to create that strategy first, and then brand marketing is how you go about implementing that strategy. So for instance, a strategy would be like for my team, for example, a strategy for my team was, oh my goodness, how do we target Gen Zs, right? And technically I'm Gen Z, I'm like at the very top of the list, but how do we market Gen Z? So once we have that strategy, brand marketing is okay. We target Gen Z by getting on TikTok, where Gen Z is. And also, we make sure that we have high awareness on Instagram, because that's also where Gen Z is, if that makes sense. So, strategy dictates what the marketing looks like, but brand is just the overall, like the overarching category that it falls
in. So, one is the idea, the other is the execution. So brand
absolutely
is the idea, brand marketing, the actual execution. You see how that goes, people? It's all about that execution.
Absolutely.
Chanel writes, what does your day-to-day look like in your role?
Ooh, good question, Chanel. It's different. Every day is different. I will tell you that. But I'll be honest with you. I am a jack of all trades and I'm a Sagittarius. So I am a free bird. Like I'm not really one for structure. So I like to come out here and like have a different day to day. But sometimes I wake up and my day will look like looking over creative. So like I said, like I work on the sneakers team. So that's going and saying, this is what the creative is going to look like here. This is what our creative needs to look like. Maybe this isn't right. Let's change this color. Maybe this shoe is wrong. I don't really like the way that's showing up. Or I don't like the way that the messaging looks like that's typed weird. Maybe we can change the words here. So that may be my one day may be dedicated to creative. Another day may be like dedicated to operations. So figuring out on planning, what is the next 3 months going to look like for us? What's the next 2 weeks going to look like for us? What do we have coming down the pipe? What big months are happening? So everything is different, but overall it's amazing. It's just every day is completely not like the last.
So that's a little segue into that, dude. Like, was sneaker a passion of yours? Like, would you consider yourself a sneakerhead, and that's why you wanted to get involved with that?
Oh, yes. So my brother used to work at Foot Locker when I was younger, and I had to have been like 10 or like 9. He would always bring me back like the best shoes, and I loved from that moment on. I like fell in love with shoes. I love Jordans. I love Nikes. I just like collected 3 pair of Yeezys within like 6 months. Like I love shoes, so of course that was kind of the intersection between like culture and community for me, if that makes sense. Because I'm like, I already love this. This is amazing. How do I continue my love for this? How do I expand that onto the platform? How do I get people that love shoes like me also onto the platform? So it's a very like passionate spot for me. Absolutely.
So love it. See, you was able to marry your passion with your work, and I think that's such a rarity because so many of us, like me, my writing is my passion, but I feel like if I was a writer, I wouldn't love it. So I try to keep those very separate. So
exactly.
I was happy to intersection something you love, and that also translates into how you work. That's so dope.
Absolutely.
So then Chanel also writes, if somebody wanted to pivot into brand marketing, what would they need to be seen as a valid candidate?
Good question. So, if you already have some marketing experience, I would say you're pretty good off brand marketing and just like product marketing or brand marketing and like influencer marketing. All of those kind of have intersections within each other. So, you can kind of pivot really easily if you're already coming from a marketing background. If you're not coming from a marketing background though, that's an amazing question. So, the one thing I would probably focus on is getting a little bit more well versed in what marketing is, what branding is. So that's doing LinkedIn learning courses. I've taken a few Coursera courses myself. I've actually looked into doing like some brand marketing certificates. So I know like Cornell had this really amazing like brand marketing certificate. Kellogg, which is another super good school for marketing, they have a nice brand marketing certificate. So not it doesn't necessarily have to be on the expensive side. It can be, like I said, Coursera, LinkedIn, because those are the ones that I've done too. But I would just show on my resume that like these are some things that I've done and I've learned about brand marketing. And also how like what have you done outside of just like your day to day? If you've done anything, marketing can translate anywhere. So even if you were selling, even if you worked at Chick-fil-A, that is all a form of marketing. So if you can kind of spin all those things to market, I think you are absolutely fine. But yes, formal training, I would say go get you a little this certificate. I think that's gonna put your foot in the door.
Oh, that's interesting because I know, like for example, when somebody wants to be a software engineer, or like something to that effect, they tell you get a GitHub, build out your portfolio. So
Yeah, exactly.
your marketing portfolio and show people how you get into this and how you
Exactly.
set strategies.
Yes, and help a small business. I think y'all that is one of the easiest ways to get your foot in the door when it comes to marketing. There are so many small businesses that are like, I need help with marketing. I'm not quite sure what to do. So even if you have a business or your friend has a business or you know of anybody that owns a small business, ask them, hey, would you be willing to help me, like to let me help you out with some marketing? And that kind of puts you in the field and you can pick it up easy. Like it's nothing, you can pick that up and you'll be all good.
See, got fit in
Hmm.
when you got to get in when you fit in.
You do. Hmm.
So J Love comes again. What are some technical skills we should know to build our brand?
Oh, that's a good question. The first thing that comes to my mind, y'all, SEO and SEM, search engine optimization, search engine marketing. So that's gonna be huge if you're doing like products and things like that. So if you have like a product for your brand, so like say you sell, I'm not sure, say you sell like lash extension gel, or say you sell makeup, or you sell hair. That's gonna be super good to kind of get the ball rolling because when people are searching up, oh, like hair in Atlanta, like you'll be the first because everybody's using Google, right? Everybody's using something to search up. And even if it's not Google, Instagram is using those hashtags. TikTok is using those hashtags. So making sure that you're good and you're well versed on like what hashtag strategy is, SEO is, SEM is going to be big. Technical skills as far as like building your brand as well. I would say this is gonna be a little bit of a stretch, y'all, and I wouldn't say all the way to learn how to code, but I would say at least learn how to build a landing page or learn how to build like a Squarespace or a Wix page because that's not coding, but it's still kind of like getting those creative juices flowing. But that's the one thing I would say that always sets a brand apart from me. I know when I'm shopping from a marketing perspective, I'm always looking at if somebody has a website. If you have a website, you have gained some trust from me because at the end of the day, when you want a customer, they have to trust you in order to give you their money, right? So I would say one of the biggest technical skills is learn how to build those landing pages, those web pages, give your customers a little bit more information about what it is you do. And even if you're not selling a product, you're selling yourself, build yourself a portfolio. Like I said, go on Squarespace, spend a couple hours, literally the layouts are there. You drop in some pictures, you drop in some content, but give the people something to kind of look at and respond to. Give it and put it all on one page. Make it easy for them. But those are maybe some of the big ones that kind of come up at the top of my head.
And just a shameless plug, we're also looking for marketing folks on our team. So she said, help a small business get your portfolio up. That's also one way. You can shoot us a message at info@mentormecollective.org. Just to go back to your point, shameless plug right here. But for Chanel, we gotta give you some flowers. I saw you were recently promoted. Congratulations. What did the process of growth look like to get from previous role to your current role?
I will be so honest with y'all. I will be so honest with y'all. It was kind of hard. It was kind of hard. And I say that because my first role, I was in a very entry level position. I was in a very like ambiguous, like I kind of created my own role. So I would kind of do what the team needed every day. So I didn't have like a really, really firm remit. So that made it a little hard for me to kind of pivot in the organization because it was a little hard for me to say exactly what I owned and exactly what I did because I was doing so much. So to get from my previous role to this role, I'll be honest with y'all, it came down to networking. So I remember there was this one like super amazing black woman on my team when I was an intern. And I remember talking to her and I'm like, I just love you. Like I love everything you do. Like, and I would go to her for advice and we would have coffee chats and we kind of stayed connected even when I went back to school for my internship. So when I came back to eBay full time, we stayed connected. We know we would chat, a couple times a year. So when she had an opening on her team, she said, "Hey, like we'll be hiring for someone in marketing. You should pop by. Like, what do you think about that? Would you be interested?" So that was very much so a really good space for me to be in because I'm like, wow, I'm so glad that I was able to kind of be in the right place at the right time there. But if you're just wanting to come in like straight out of the gate into marketing, which is so okay, a marketing associate role. So I know J Love, not to jump ahead of you, Dom, but I know J Love had mentioned what the career ladder looks like in this field. It can look like so many different things, J Love. You can literally go from anything into marketing if you pivot your resume right. That's just my personal opinion. But if you wanted to just come straight out of college and go into it, there are tons of marketing associate roles that you're able to get. You could be a brand associate, a marketing associate, a marketing coordinator, a marketing specialist. All of those are entry level positions in marketing. And from there, just kind of use that position to like kind of, shop around the organization. Say, "Ooh, what's this? What kind of marketing is this? I like that." Or "What kind of marketing is this? I don't like that." And whatever you do like, stay in touch, ask questions, learn more about them, ask them if you're able to kind of see some of the work that they do, and just kind of go from there. So as you continue to grow, it's very much so about being able to hone in on what you like because marketing is so general. I know y'all know this. Marketing is so broad. So it's about figuring out what part of marketing you want to be in and then just kind of shooting from there. But start at an associate role, I would absolutely recommend.
A very solid advice. So then you touched on the point a couple of comments ago, but you talked about mentorship. So how has mentorship played a large role in your growth, and what would you suggest for people to, or how can some people get some mentorship in this type of field?
Mentorship, y'all. I cannot stress enough the benefits of it. So I remember when I was an intern, there was this one sweet woman. She was sitting at a table, and I remember seeing her, and she was just running this meeting. And in tech, like I said, you don't see a lot of people that look like yourself a lot of times. So when I saw her and she's just running this meeting and they are just yes ma'aming her, I'm like, I want to be like you when I grow up. So I remember thinking in my head and I said, if if I could get her by herself, I was like, if she could just be alone for 5 seconds, I will go and talk to her. Because I'm still an intern, I'm still shy. And I go up to her, and to this day, like we talk at least once a week. Like she is one of the most amazing humans. She's taught me so much about just like being a woman in corporate, about treating myself like a business, just life advice about okay, well, this is something that happened at work today. How do I navigate this? Or maybe someone said something and I don't really know how to take it. How do I handle this? How do I handle this odd situation? So mentorship, y'all, can get you through some of the toughest times. And what I think is that mentorship is just a constant reminder that you don't ever have to reinvent the wheel and you're never alone in this. Someone's always been through it before. Someone's always navigated it and gone before you to do it. And they really paved that way for you. So how do you continue to learn and grow from them without necessarily having to go and like make all the same mistakes and having to learn it on your own? So yes.
Love it. And guess what? Now you're in that position where you can give mentorship to people who are looking to get in the field. And it starts with stuff like this, right?
Absolutely. 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 And that's what I love the most. Like I love to help. Like any intern that's ever come on the team, I'm like, hey, I'll take you under my wing. So I love to help, even if you're not an intern, even if you're a peer, whatever it may be. I am literally an open book. So any help I can give, I'm happy to do so.
She's happy. So when we drop her LinkedIn at the end, y'all better be connecting with her, adding her, asking her these questions because she's looking to help y'all. This is free. Most people charge you, but this is for the frizz naive. So Chanel also asked, I'd love to hear about your experience at eBay. What are some of your favorite perks working there? Favorite memories?
Ooh, my favorite part of working there, I would say is, and I'm so sorry if my eBay people are watching this right now. My favorite perk is one, the family community that they kind of created for us. So like you can go to anybody and talk to anybody anytime, like executive, no matter who they are, they're so willing to talk to you. Number two, the swag, y'all. I have so much eBay swag. It doesn't make any sense. Like I have cups, I have blankets, I have picnic blankets, I have anything under the moon that you have, phone cases, like shoes, like anything you could ask for. That is everything. So I love working there. We get a lot of employee time together. So this time where we can kind of like have coffee chats, like happy hours. So I just love to kind of like decompress, not necessarily have to think about work all the time. And I guess one of my favorite memories, I've been working virtual full time since I've started. So one of my favorite memories was during my internship program, they actually took us to California's Great America. They took like all the interns. So basically they have like a family and friends day every year in San Jose. So they literally buy the entire Greater California Great America Park out. They have like free wine, free water, free drinks, free food for everyone. Every employee, like everywhere, can bring their family, they can bring their friends. That was some of the most fun I've ever had. So like connecting with the other interns, like getting on rides, like, that was my first time in California. So it was amazing. That's like one of my favorite memories.
See, I love it. Love to hear it. J Love asks, do you have a good work life balance?
Oh, J Love, that's a good question. Coming with all the good questions today. I have a great work life balance, but then again, on that opposite end, I don't have a good work life balance. So I have a good work life balance when it comes to like eBay, but I'll be transparent, like being because I'm 24, so like 24 and like kind of balancing like my own business and balancing like another one of my own businesses and balancing like other passions that I have that I want to pursue. Sometimes that gets hard because a lot of what I want to do for work is like what I'm passionate about. So sometimes it can get tough to kind of like set boundaries and say, okay, after 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, I'm not gonna do this. But I'm really working and learning and growing when it comes to setting those boundaries. So even if it's okay, well, after 5 o'clock, I'll stop eBay stuff. After 7 o'clock, I'll stop startup stuff. So just making sure I do have time for me and time to like decompress and like go to the movies and do stuff that I want to do too. Making sure that I embed that into my routine is like so important. So I'm working on it. But yes, overall.
And that's really great. So then let's go back to eBay for just well, we are still on eBay, but let's go back to the work environment. What would you say makes it a great work environment besides, you gave us a little snippet where you feel like you're a family there, but what truly like, what's the secret sauce? Like what made you be like, I'm so happy to be here?
The secret sauce is the recruiting, y'all. The secret sauce is that's definitely what it is. eBay is very intentional about the way that they recruit people, which I appreciate like times a million. Okay. When it comes to recruiting, I've done so many interviews where they're like, tell me about a time, tell me about a time, or what experience do you have here? And is there a project that you worked on? But any interview that I had had with eBay, whether it be for my internship or my in person role, they wanted to get to know Jazmin for Jazmin. What is Jazmin like? What are some things that you're proud of? What are some proud moments that you've had? What's an award that you would tell people? Like these are all like they ask the questions that matter to me, and I know that they have that same process for recruitment like across the board. They're not asking anything. Well, they may ask you, of course, like your situational questions, but nothing that's like, what is this company talking about? They're not asking me to come back with a fully, played out marketing plan, like presented to us and all of our direct, like, no, it was a very personable experience across everyone that I've ever interviewed with. They've always been so sweet, so humble, no matter what position they were in. And like I said, that's translated across the organization. So everybody that you meet, you can tell that everything's very human first. Like if we're in a meeting and they say like, hey, yeah, sorry I was late. Sorry I was late to the meeting. I just, came from a doctor's appointment. Everybody's like, are you okay? That's the first question. So it's not like, oh, it's okay, you're late, but this to catch you up, like, no, it's like, are you okay? Is everything okay? Like, do you need to take some time away? Do you need 10 minutes? So just to kind of approach things with that intention is what matters to me. So
And that sounds excellent because so many times we hear when people leave a place that they're so happy, even if it meant taking less money, because
Yes,
the work environment was so demanding. So it sounds like y'all have a good idea of like people and work and how to balance between.
absolutely.
So then, speaking of that, you talked a little bit about it, but could you expand more about your interviewing process? We would like to, what you can tell us. We would like to know more.
Absolutely. What I can tell you about it is kind of what I've already said. Like I can't even, I guess it's just been 2 years. So it's been a long time since I've like got into a position and said like, oh, this is what it is. But I would say that their human first kind of like their human first strategy when it comes to interviewing is one of the best that I've seen. And I've done tons of interviews across like tons of companies. But just to say, like I said, what are you passionate about? What are some things that Jazmin is proud of that you would like to share with us? What is it about the job description that stood out to you about this role? So it's not necessarily an interrogation, but it's definitely a conversation between us to see if we're both best fit. So a lot of times jobs they're like, you need us. So like, what can you do for us? But for eBay, it's like, well, what can we do for you? And that was my most important thing. Like, well, are you interested in, pursuing, higher education? Well, if you are, eBay has these opportunities. So just making sure that like I knew that they were a good fit for me the way that I knew that I was a good fit for them, if that makes
Yes,
sense.
because I think a lot of people are scared, right? They don't want to ask certain questions because they say, like, hey, why, like, what happens if we get turned off? Or, like, I say a question, I don't say it right, but really the interview is supposed to be two-way. You're supposed to, like you said,
Yeah.
a fit for you and me. Like, does this make sense? Are
Hmm.
we in alignment? Because if we're not, there's no point in going further with this.
Yes, and always take that into any interview you've ever been in. Know that they need you, but well, know that you may need them, but they need you. Okay, so you have that confidence everywhere. You know that you come in there and say, okay, well, I would like to know more about this policy that you all have, and I would like to know what was your reaction to this social event that happened. What was you all's company's response to the protest? Like ask them those questions because you want to know if they're a good fit. I had one company I interviewed for and I asked them, do you guys have any communities of inclusion? Do you have anything specifically for Black employees or for women employees? Like, do you have any of those affinity groups that I could, go and kind of find solace and find space in? They're like, no, we don't have any. Like, we're not as up to date on that. But like, maybe you could come in and like help and spearhead that. Y'all, red flag. No, I can't do that. That's above my pay grade, but I want to come in. And of course, that's okay if you would like to, but you want to come into spaces where they're already kind of making those forward motions towards creating an inclusive space for you. Because if they don't, odds are you'll be able to feel it somewhere along the way.
That's beautiful because ERGs are always important. What I like
Yes.
a lot of companies are doing now on their website, they're promoting what ERGs they have in that space. So you don't even have to ask that question. They're saying we have that already here. So it's a matter of
Yep.
getting it in there once you make it past the interview.
Yep.
And you got Dominique excited. She said you got me looking up eBay on LinkedIn. Make sure y'all connect with her. She's willing to refer. She's willing to help you get in. Each one teach one, baby.
Come on.
All right, then. So then another question I had. So, we said a lot of good things, but I want some transparency here. Like, what is the most difficult aspect about your role at eBay?
I think the most difficult aspect, and like you said, I'll be transparent, is when you're working on a team that's kind of dedicated to sneakers and fashion and a lot of things like sneakers specifically. When you're working on a team where the target audience may look different than the actual people that work on it, you can have a little conflict or you can have some qualms because there's an educational aspect to your job at that point because now I know how to talk to sneakerheads. I know what cool shoes are, but now I have to explain kind of to other people that like, okay, well, maybe we should say this in the messaging, or maybe the messaging would sound better if we said this, and maybe we don't say it like that because that seems a little tone deaf or like seems a little insensitive. So it's like I said, kind of having that educational component come in was very new to me, but I don't look at that necessarily as anything negative. I really look at that as like an opportunity. I try to figure out how is it that I can best teach this culture that I love so much, these shoes that I love so much. How can I teach and kind of share that love with others to where they understand what I'm saying? So that's one of the barriers that I've kind of had to overcome, like while I am transitioning into this new role, is learning how to do that. I'll be honest, y'all, it's not always easy. It's like, well, I think this would sound better, and you're like, no, I don't think so. So, like I said, it's about kind of having that confidence and knowing that like you love what you love, and you like. I know I've loved shoes for forever. I know the community. So it's about being confident and saying, "Hey, y'all, I know you're pushing back a little bit, but I'm gonna push back on that and let you know that like maybe not." So, yeah.
It's not happening, Captain.
I
So then to segue into that, J Love asks, how do you politely decline work when when you already have enough on your plate?
Oh, J Love, you are really hitting the nail on the head here today. So the best way to say it, well, I'll tell you something that my manager told me. My current manager told me. He said, "There's only you can only say no so politely. You can there's only so many ways you can say no. And it really is. And I think that at the end of the day, and one thing that I've been having to learn a lot over these last few months is like my plate is so full. I won't be able to really take anything on right now. But the best thing that you can do is if you know anybody that can help, please send them their way, because everybody, like we said, you can't pour into an empty cup. Keep pouring into the people around you. So if you do marketing and they say, "Oh my God, I need some marketing help," you might say, "Okay, well, I'm sorry, I have a lot, I have a lot on my plate right now. I'm not able to take that on, but I do know so and they're really, really good at marketing, and they're really, really good at X, Y, and Z." So maybe have a conversation with them, or maybe even have a conversation with your friends and say, "Hey, I'll tap in with my network and see if anybody else knows someone that's good at marketing." So kind of give them an alternative, I think, is the nicest way you could say, like, "No, I can't do it," if that makes
It makes perfect sense. So then this next one's a little bit of a doozy, but I love when I ask you, what is the best piece of career advice you've gotten, and what is some career advice you would give to people in here in the comment section right now?
The best piece of career advice that I've gotten is like, don't be afraid of change. And I will be so honest with you guys. I might give you the same advice. Do not be afraid to change. If you don't like it, don't do it. Okay. Your career is yours. And that's one thing that my mentor has always shared with me. Your career is yours and yours only, and no one is going to care about your career in the same way that you do. So be an advocate for yourself, stand up for yourself if it's something that you don't want to do. And I'm not saying just like an individual project, but if there's something that you're doing and maybe you don't understand why, get that understanding. Say, "Hey, I just want to have a conversation and see what is it like, what am I to gain from this project, or what am I to gain from this?" So understand. And if they give you an opportunity, I know there's been a lot of times where I've kind of been shuffled around and said like, "Oh, well, maybe we can have you help over here, or maybe go help over here." And I'll say, "Hey," I had to get to the point where I said, "Hey, I don't want to do that anymore. I would love something to own. I would love something with my own remit. I would love to do this instead." Like I said, continue, y'all, to advocate for yourself. A lot of us, we're from marginalized groups. Advocate for yourself all day long. You have to care about it more than anybody else. You can't just kind of go with the wind, which is kind of what I was doing. You can't just go with the wind when it comes to your career. You have to own it. You have to control it. If something's going on and you don't like it, if there's a position that you're in now and you don't like it, every day you have to treat every day like it's your last day. Okay, if you don't like it, you don't like it. Start looking at something else, and don't be afraid. Don't say, "Oh my goodness, well, I love the company." Move to another position in that company if you love the company. But if you don't, just keep it moving. Like you should be in a constant state of growth, especially at this part in our careers. There's no time to stagnate or stand still or just say, "Maybe I'll wait it out." Like, no, you do what you're supposed to do and keep it moving. So yeah, that's what I would do.
I love that, being your biggest advocate, because everyone's
Hmm.
always going to advocate for somebody else, but how do you advocate for yourself? And I think you hit
Absolutely.
it in the head. So
Absolutely.
we're almost out of time, but I want to ask one last question. This is
Yes,
personal.
of course.
We see you as a multifaceted individual. So we heard about some of the stuff, but we want to know what really makes Jasmine passionate. Like, what are some of Jasmine's passions? That's what we want to learn before we end off on this note.
Do y'all really want to know?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell y'all. It's a secret, but I'll tell y'all because we're here today. One thing that really, really makes me passionate, y'all, is telling the stories of our community. I'll be so honest. I am so passionate. Like one day I want to be a director. Like I want to make movies. I want to make TV shows. I want to tell the stories of the men and women like you, like me, all around us. because I think that oftentimes in popular culture, like we're seen as a monolith. Like, oh, like we have, these people, they kind of all like the same thing, they all eat the same thing, they all talk the same way. But I want to continue to show that, like, as a people, like we're not monolithic. We have different stories, we have different nuances. There's different things that we like. There's different music tastes that we have. So I love storytelling. That's what wakes me up in the morning. I'm so passionate about that. So I really want to be a director. I'm passionate about music. I love entertainment, y'all. Like anything entertainment. So one day I have been begging, begging, begging. I am like, literally, I told my boyfriend for my birthday, I want a beat machine. I'm like, buy me a beat machine because I want to make beats. Like, I want to do anything entertainment. So yeah, I'm just one for the culture all around. I'll be honest with you.
Seeing guys, she's in the community and she's really in the community. And so, Jazmin, I want to just say thank you so much for this session. This wouldn't be possible without you. Time is a resource we don't get back, and I'm happy you chose to get some of your time back to the community because we don't find many people like y'all. So, guys, I know we love Jazmin. I dropped her LinkedIn right here. Make sure y'all connect with her. If y'all see something on eBay, reach out to her. If you have marketing advice, she's willing to help. So again, use her as a resource. Pay it forward. She's paying it forward because people helped her. So she's paying it forward. Let's continue that trend. But tomorrow we end off our Encore week with customer success. I hope y'all stay tuned. But as of now, I hope y'all have a wonderful night. Stay cool because it's hot. It's hot outside.
Good night, y'all. Have a great day.